Late one night, prowling the wet streets alone, I'd worked myself into a mood so foul, it was practically Russian. The rain was Russian, and the fog was Russian too. As I stood beneath my umbrella, the Russian one with broken rib, that lets the rain fall on my silly Slavic head, I thought, all I need now is a bottle of cheap Russian vodka and a dirty stale loaf of Russian black bread. Then from memory's long Russian novel, I played a succession of pitiful scenes. Look, here's the night she left him for a Moscow monk. Here's the scene where they sent him in shame to Siberia. And here's where his father, Alexander Alexandrovich, punched the air with a fistful of angry words. That's the beauty of self-pity. You just grab hold of a sore spot and twist it, all the way from here to St. Petersburg. Then the windows of a darkened house stare back, like a row of accusatory eyes, and each dismal drop of drizzle is created for your discomfort alone. So as you creep across that decrepit corner, beware the speeding bus that would run you down just for a laugh. Feel the rain drip, drip, drip on your hollow cheeks, and smell the rot gut on your stale black Russian bread. This next one, there's just two things I need to explain quickly. Marcus Aurelius is mentioned in this poem. In fact, he's sort of the figure. He was the emperor of Rome around 170 AD and left behind a book that's now called the Meditations, which is considered Stoic philosophy. I also mentioned Seneca. He was another Stoic philosopher and lived in Rome about 200 years before. Otherwise, I think it works here. It's called Stoic coffee. So Marcus Aurelius walks into a Starbucks. The Emperor of Rome orders an iced pumpkin macchiato grande. But what he gets isn't exactly what he'd ordered. Marcus Aurelius tastes skimmed milk. He hadn't asked for a skinny. Now someone is shouting, skimmed milk is evil. Skimmed milk is wrong. Skimmed milk is unnatural. When Marcus Aurelius realizes it's he who's shouting, the Emperor of Rome blushes and feels ridiculous, remembering what the wise Seneca had written long before. There is no room for anger. Everything ought to move us only to tears or laughter. Easy for Seneca to say. Anyone could be wise in 4 BC. Try being a Stoic nowadays with all this damn skimmed milk. But Marcus Aurelius is willing to try again. He's worked up a thirst. The Emperor of Rome orders another iced pumpkin macchiato grande. He sips, and damned if once again he doesn't taste that awful skimmed milk. But this time Marcus won't let a mere drink piss him off. This time as he sips, Marcus Aurelius laughs, and this time as he sips, he cries. The tears drip into the coffee like the salty waves of the sea, and the little paper cup overflows. Very nice of you. This next one is called Self-Portrait in Blue. Do I need to say anything about this? Yes. My father died a little less than a year ago, so the next 2 poems, 2.5, are sort of informed by that. Self-Portrait in Blue. Everything lately breaks my heart. The Mets, Obama, brown leaves dying on the sidewalk in autumn rain. My mother, widowed and living alone for the first time in 57 years. What can I do? The rain eases, then fades, a misty ghost. In the silvered sky, gloomy storm clouds swirl and part, revealing a patch of wide open blue. Not bright enough yet to be hopeful, but it will do. Thank you very much. This next one is called In the Next Life, and the title is also the first line of the poem, so I'm going to read it again. In the next life, assuming there is one, you can be Abraham and I will be Isaac, sticking out my foolish neck again. Or no, I'll be Don Giovanni, seducing the maid with my mandolin, and you can be the commander, blowing your gasket in full stentorian bass. Though if it's all the same to you, let's skip Tantalus. He slayed his son and roasted him, a fit feast fit for unsuspecting gods, and Idomeneus, king of Crete, who in gratitude to Poseidon, savior of the royal ass, sacrificed the first living thing he saw, which was his boy. Though that would cut too close to the bone, if you thought it could help, I'd return as a girl, Antigone, say, and you can be Oedipus, blind and disgraced, though not to me. Or how about the prodigal son? Only you be the son this time, and I'll be the dad. Trust me, it makes an odd kind of sense, wishing as I do that you could return to explain more than a couple things. Besides, don't you long to be forgiven? Bones and skin, rags and dry husks, even if my brothers disapprove. Will let my finest robe be yours, my golden ring. Say you are lost and now are found, and all that I have is thine. The last one doesn't need any explanation, Sawdust. It's called Sawdust. I grew up with a lot of sawdust, so I thought there's a lot of sawdust around. I thought it would be good for a poem, so it's called Sawdust. The sandpaper came in grades, not the 6th, the 7th, or the 8th, as we did, but the coarse, the fine, and the very fine, just as we did too. And just as my father, in his basement workshop, when tearing me a square of medium coarse, would devise a new way to make me cry. Our shop teacher preferred the lubricants of laughter, and a red bow tie, he promised, was immune to the lathe's spinning jaws. Beyond our safety goggles, the sawdust on beams of sunlight drifted, then settled onto shirts and hands of boys, skinny forearms that plunged from rolled-up sleeves. There the sawdust was caught in the pores, still small but nearly ready to grow up, until we oozed with the perfume of oak and sweet pine. The girls noticed, the minute we filed into math, our fine manly smells and the red hearts we wore beneath our suddenly handsome chins. Thank you.